Hello everybody, welcome to the show. Please hit the subscribe button and give this episode a thumbs hell. Watch the Honey Boo Boo Film's new season of Mama June show in Colorado begins with a surprising scene as the quiet Colorado morning fills with the chill of mountain air and the soft glow of sunrise while Honey Boo Boo arrives on set surrounded by a bustling production crew adjusting lights, checking microphones and preparing cameras as if they are welcoming her back to a long paused journey, and the entire town whispers that Honey Boo Boo Film's new season of Mama June show in Colorado is finally happening. After so many emotional seasons filled with laughter, tears, struggle and redemption, and now she returns no longer the little child we once knew but a determined young girl whose eyes reflect her desire to build her own identity, and as she steps into the streets people gather in excitement, some taking photos, some calling out her name, some wondering what kind of drama Mama June will bring this time, because whenever Mama June is involved there is always chaos, heartbreak, reunion and unexpected twists, and the atmosphere around the set feels different, heavier, maybe more real, as if this new chapter will dive deeper than before. And as Honey Boo Boo walks past the Colorado shops, the snowy hills, the winding roads filled with fans and journalists, she feels the weight of fame, the legacy of her childhood and the expectations of the new season, while the crew repeatedly mentions Honey Boo Boo Film's new season of Mama June show in Colorado with excitement, curiosity and a bit of tension, because everyone knows something major is going to unfold this season, and the mountains stand tall around them like ancient witnesses watching this family begin another story full of struggle, hope and transformation, while Honey Boo Boo breathes deeply, gathering courage to face the cameras that once shaped her childhood and will now shape her future. And the snowy wind of Colorado carries whispers of her past, her mother, her family and all the chaos that made them who they are today, creating a perfect backdrop for Honey Boo Boo Film's new season of Mama June show in Colorado. As the filming continues with long scenes, emotional conversations, family conflicts and heartfelt moments that hint this season may become the most unpredictable chapter of their lives. As filming continued, the air around the mountains seemed to vibrate with a strange tension, because Honey Boo Boo Film's new season of Mama June show in Colorado was not just another season but a return to a story that had shaped the childhood of millions. And as Honey Boo Boo walked through the small Colorado streets, she could feel every eye watching her with a mixture of nostalgia, curiosity and disbelief, because once she was just a little girl filled with innocent laughter and wild energy, and now she stood as a young woman carrying the weight of her journey and the complicated shadow of Mama June, whose presence always brought storms and sunshine together. And the locals whispered softly that Honey Boo Boo Film's new season of Mama June show in Colorado would show truths that had never been revealed and secrets that had been buried deep under years of family chaos, heartbreak, addictions, recovery and survival, while the crew rushed around preparing another emotional scene. And Honey Boo Boo sat quietly near a snowy fence, staring out at the vast white mountains, thinking about her life in Georgia, her childhood, fame, the rise and fall of her family, and the moments when cameras capture her tears, her confusion and her resilience. And she wondered what this new season might bring, because inside she felt a mix of determination, fear and hope, and every time she blinked she could hear echoes of her younger self shouting catchphrases that once made the world laugh, and now those memories felt like distant dreams floating in the cold Colorado wind, while the crew kept repeating Honey Boo Boo Film's new season of Mama June show in Colorado, as if the title itself carried magic and pressure together. And behind the scenes, Mama June argued loudly with producers, complaining about editing, money, relationships and the past she wanted to bury, but the past would not let go so easily. And Honey Boo Boo could hear her mother's voice echoing across the snowy parking lot, reminding her of every broken promise, every painful fight and every moment of regret. Yet deep inside, Honey Boo Boo still carried a small burning love for her complicated mother, and that love pulled her into the show again and again, even when she felt exhausted by the world, and even when she wanted to run away to a quiet life far from cameras and critics. And Colorado stood silent, watching this mother and daughter rebuild their fractured connection through the lens of reality TV, and fans waited eagerly, wondering if reconciliation or another explosion was coming, because Honey Boo Boo Film's new season of Mama June show in Colorado promised both hope and disaster as always. And the producers whispered that this season would show raw emotion, real tears and the deepest wounds of their family. And Honey Boo Boo knew she must face everything head on, even the uncomfortable memories that haunted her nights while the mountains around her glowed orange in the evening sun, casting long shadows that felt like reflections of her past. And the voice of Mama June softened for a rare moment as she approached her daughter, trying to speak gently, trying to fix what years of chaos had broken. But her words trembled in the icy air, and Honey Boo Boo listened silently, wondering if this time things could truly change, or if it was another chapter of promises that would eventually crumble. And the filming crew captured every breath, every hesitation, every tiny movement, knowing that Honey Boo Boo Film's new season of Mama June show in Colorado depended on these moments of raw truth. And as night fell across the Colorado sky filled with stars, the two of them sat together, wrapped in heavy winter coats, sharing quiet stories about their past and the hope for a future that might finally bring peace to their turbulent lives, while cameras rolled from a distance, catching the fragile beauty of a mother and daughter trying to mend their souls in the cold but healing light of the mountains. And Honey Boo Boo realized that no matter how messy life became, she was still standing, still fighting, still growing. And this season, this journey, this Colorado snow would mark a turning point in her life, And the life of everyone who had watched her grow up as Honey Boo Boo Films' new season of Mama June show in Colorado continued to unfold like a long winding path through pain, forgiveness, laughter, and the endless search for love. As the days passed and filming deepened into the heart of the mountains, the energy around the set shifted into something heavier and more emotional because Honey Boo Boo Films' new season of Mama June show in Colorado was slowly peeling away the layers of their family's long-buried struggles, and as Honey Boo Boo woke up early each morning to the chill of Colorado frost, she carried with her the memories of every fight, every breakdown, every attempt her family made to rebuild themselves, and sometimes she wondered if the world truly understood how difficult it was to grow up under cameras flashing constantly and people judging her every move while she tried to balance being a teenager and being a public figure. And the mountains seemed to whisper to her, offering comfort and guidance as she walked along the snow-dusted paths before shooting, thinking about how every new episode of Honey Boo Boo Films' new season of Mama June show in Colorado would reach millions of people who once saw her as a simple funny child star and now would see her as a young woman trying to rise above the chaos she inherited. And Mama June, on the other hand, struggled with her own demons, battling old habits and new pressures while trying to convince herself and everyone else that she could still be a mother worthy of trust and forgiveness. And sometimes during lunch breaks, Honey Boo Boo could see her mother sitting alone staring at the Colorado sky, perhaps wondering where everything went wrong and where everything could still be fixed. And the producers knew that this tension, this quiet pain, this unspoken bond was exactly what viewers would connect with, and so they kept repeating Honey Boo Boo Films' new season of Mama June show in Colorado, emphasizing that this season would not hide anything. And as evening approached, the lights of the set illuminated the snowy town, making it glow like a small galaxy where real life and reality TV blended into one story. And Honey Boo Boo sat wrapped in a warm coat, silently rereading old messages from her sister Pumpkin, who often reminded her to stay strong, to keep moving forward, to remember that she was more than her past and more than the mistakes of her mother. And those words echoed in Honey Boo Boo's mind whenever she stepped in front of the camera and looked directly into the lens, as if she were speaking to the whole world, saying she was ready to rise, change, and claim her own identity. And the camera crew felt something powerful growing inside her, a new confidence, a new voice that came alive during filming of Honey Boo Boo Films' new season of Mama June show in Colorado. And Mama June sometimes watched her daughter from the shadows, realizing how quickly she had grown, how strong she had become, and how much pain she had endured because of her mother's chaotic choices. And one night under the Colorado stars, Honey Boo Boo confronted Mama June for a scene that was supposed to be short but turned into a long emotional conversation filled with trembling voices, long silences, and tears that felt too real for television. And the crew stood still, capturing every second as Honey Boo Boo told her mother she wanted honesty, she wanted stability, she wanted love without lies. And Mama June struggled to find the words to respond because deep inside she knew she had failed her many times, yet she also loved her with a desperate, fierce love. And the snowy wind swirled around them as if nature itself was listening to their broken hearts, slowly trying to heal. And the title Honey Boo Boo Films' new season of Mama June show in Colorado kept floating through the minds of everyone on set because they knew this moment, this raw emotion, would become one of the most unforgettable scenes in the entire franchise. And after the confrontation, Honey Boo Boo walked alone through the quiet Colorado street, feeling lighter yet sadder, as if she had opened a door to her soul that she had kept closed for years. And the mountains glowed softly under the moon as she whispered to herself that she would never stop fighting for a better life, for a healthier mind, for a future that was hers to shape. And the next day, when filming resumed, Honey Boo Boo returned with a stronger presence, a new glow, a new stability that even the production team noticed immediately. And they whispered among themselves that this season, Honey Boo Boo Films' new season of Mama June show in Colorado, would not just redefine the show, it would redefine Honey Boo Boo herself as she transformed from a reality TV child star to a courageous young woman stepping boldly into her own story, while the world watched in awe. And the journey continued with more emotional scenes, more healing, more conflict, and more growth that painted a portrait of a family struggling to rebuild their fragile bond amid the cold yet comforting embrace of the Colorado Mountain. As filming moved deeper into the emotional core of the season, the cold Colorado mornings began to feel strangely warm with the presence of Honey Boo Boo, and every passing day added new layers to the unfolding story because Honey Boo Boo Films' new season of Mama June show in Colorado had now become a living, breathing reflection of their family's long journey through chaos, heartbreak, and hope. And the small town where they were shooting slowly transformed into a buzzing center of curiosity as locals gathered behind barriers, hoping to catch a glimpse of Honey Boo Boo walking confidently through the snow-covered sidewalks, while crew members hurried around her, adjusting lights and microphones and planning each scene with the awareness that this season carried heavier truths than any before. And Honey Boo Boo felt that weight every time she stepped out of her trailer, wearing warm jacket, scarves, and a face filled with quiet determination, because she knew the world would watch every expression, every word, every crack in her voice. And she wanted to be real, raw, and honest, as this was no longer a story about a child star, but about a young woman finding her place in a world that once misunderstood her. And Mama June wandered through the set with a mix of nervousness and nostalgia, sometimes smiling, sometimes shaking her head as memories from earlier chaotic seasons flashed through her mind, reminding her how much she had lost and how much she might still regain if she finally Face the Truth and Honey Boo Boo Films' new season of Mama June Show in Colorado captured these silent, vulnerable moments with a tenderness that surprised even the camera crew because they were witnessing a mother trying desperately to rebuild something she had broken and a daughter trying to forgive without forgetting. And one afternoon during a long emotional shoot, Honey Boo Boo returned to a frozen lake near the town, a place she had visited earlier during the trip, and she watched the sun shimmer across the icy surface, remembering how many times she had felt trapped, frozen, stuck between her childhood fame and her adult reality. And now she felt the ice beginning to crack in a good way, opening paths she had never explored before, while the crew filmed from afar, creating a magical, almost cinematic image that perfectly symbolized her emotional transformation. And the team repeated the title Honey Boo Boo Films' new season of Mama June Show in Colorado through their radios as they coordinated the next scenes, knowing that the world would feel the impact of this moment when the season aired and Mama June approached, slowly stepping through the snow, leaving deep footprints as if marking her attempt to reconnect with her daughter. And when she reached Honey Boo Boo, she hesitated, afraid of saying something wrong, afraid of breaking the fragile peace that had formed between them, and the cold wind brushed against their faces as they talked about trust, forgiveness, and the parts of their past that still haunted them. And Honey Boo Boo listened with cautious hope, feeling the sincerity in her mother's trembling voice and yet also feeling the pain of every broken promise that still lived in her heart. And after hours of filming, the crew backed away, leaving mother and daughter to talk without interruptions, capturing only the raw emotions that spilled naturally from their conversation. And later that evening, Honey Boo Boo walked back to her trailer deep in thought while the Colorado sky turned purple with the setting sun, and she felt something inside her shift, like a heavy stone being lifted, because she finally understood that healing did not mean erasing the past but learning to live with it. And she whispered to herself that no matter how difficult things became, she would keep moving forward, because this season, Honey Boo Boo Films' new season of Mama June Show in Colorado, was not only about family drama or entertainment but about courage, strength, and reclaiming her own narrative. And the next morning she woke up with a new fire in her eyes, ready to continue filming, ready to face every challenge, and ready to let the world see who she had truly become, beyond the fame, beyond the headlines, beyond the misunderstandings. And as the cameras rolled once more, the snowy mountains stood tall around them like silent guardians, watching a resilient young woman rise with every scene she filmed, shaping a season that would forever change her story and the story of everyone who watched her grow through the years. As the production pushed into its most intense days, the emotional atmosphere surrounding the cast grew heavier yet strangely healing, because Honey Boo Boo Films' new season of Mama June Show in Colorado had now become more than a television project. It had transformed into a journey of rediscovery, where every snowy street, every camera angle, and every trembling conversation carried the energy of a family trying to rise above years of conflict. And as Honey Boo Boo walked through the frosty morning air, wearing her thick jacket and holding a warm cup of coffee, she could feel the mountains whispering reassurance, telling her she was stronger than she believed, while the crew scrambled around her, reviewing scripts, adjusting equipment, and preparing for one of the biggest scenes of the entire season. And deep inside, Honey Boo Boo knew this episode would define her more than any before, because she was finally ready to open up about the wound she had hidden behind jokes, behind cameras, behind her tough smile. And the producers whispered into their headsets, reminding each team member that the heart of Honey Boo Boo Films' new season of Mama June Show in Colorado was not the drama but the raw truth that viewers had been waiting to see for years. And on that particular day, Mama June arrived late, looking tired, emotional, and weighed down by the storm of her past decisions. And when Honey Boo Boo saw her mother approaching slowly through the snow, she felt a mixture of sadness, longing, and a faint spark of hope that maybe this time things would be different. And as filming began, the cameras zoomed in, capturing every flicker in Honey Boo Boo's eyes, every tremor in Mama June's voice, and the Colorado wind wrapped around them like a cold reminder of the reality they could no longer hide. And the scene opened with Honey Boo Boo asking questions she had carried in her heart since childhood, questions about trust, abandonment, choices, and the brokenness that had shaped their lives. And Mama June struggled to answer her words, shaking her breath uneven as if she was speaking through years of regret. And the crew watched silently, knowing they were witnessing a moment that could reach millions and change the entire direction of the show. And the title Honey Boo Boo Films' new season of Mama June Show in Colorado echoed across the set as everyone understood the significance of the emotional storm unfolding before their eyes, and the mountains around them seemed to pause in the stillness of winter as Honey Boo Boo spoke honestly about how fame had affected her childhood, how the chaos of her home life had followed her into adulthood, and how she was still learning to trust herself in a world that had judged her long before she could understand why. And Mama June listened with tears streaming, even though she tried to hold them back, realizing how deeply her daughter had suffered because of choices she once thought were harmless or temporary. And the Colorado sky clouded over, as if reflecting the heaviness of their conversation, while Honey Boo Boo stepped closer to her mother for the first time in years, not in anger but in a fragile attempt at connection. And that simple movement left everyone breathless, because it showed that forgiveness was possible, even if it came slowly, painfully, and with scars that may never fully disappear. And the cameras captured this moment with quiet reverence, knowing that in Honey Boo Boo Films' new season of Mama June Show in Colorado, this would become one of the defining turning points, one that fans would rewind, replay and discuss endlessly, and as the scene wrapped up, Honey Boo Boo walked away from the set feeling lighter yet emotionally exhausted, like she had opened doors she never planned to revisit, but she also felt something new blooming inside her, a small sense of peace, the kind that grows only after speaking the truth out loud. And Mama June remained standing in the snow watching her daughter walk away with a mixture of pride, fear and longing, hoping that she could earn even a small place back in her life. And the sky slowly brightened as Honey Boo Boo took a deep breath and whispered to herself that she was ready to move forward, ready to rewrite her story, ready to grow into the woman she chose to be, because this season, this journey, this entire adventure in Colorado had become more than filming, it had become a transformation, and the name Honey Boo Boo Films' new season of Mama June Show in Colorado would forever mark the chapter where she finally found her voice, her strength, and the courage to face every part of her past while stepping boldly into her future. As filming entered the final stretch of the Colorado schedule, the atmosphere around the production became thicker with emotion and anticipation, because Honey Boo Boo Films' new season of Mama June Show in Colorado was not only shaping into the most powerful season yet, but was also becoming a turning point in Honey Boo Boo's personal journey as she slowly began to understand the strength she had carried all along. And every morning, when the sun rose over the snow-covered mountains, the set lit up like a glowing stage where reality and healing intertwined. And Honey Boo Boo stepped out of her trailer, breathing in the crisp Colorado air, feeling the weight of her past slowly melting away with every step she took across the frosted ground. And the crew members could sense a change within her, a quiet determination, a mature sense of self that had not been present at the beginning of filming. And everyone whispered that the title Honey Boo Boo Films' new season of Mama June Show in Colorado symbolized more than a show. It symbolized rebirth, resilience, and the reclaiming of a girl who once felt lost in the world of fame. And as shooting for the final emotional arc approached, Honey Boo Boo found herself sitting alone on a wooden bench overlooking a wide snowy valley where the soft sound of the wind reminded her of her childhood days in Georgia, days filled with innocence, laughter, and a kind of freedom she had not felt in years. And she realized that somewhere along the way she had lost the child inside her, the one who loved simple joys, the one who trusted easily, the one who dreamed without fear. And now, standing in Colorado surrounded by mountains, she felt that child returning slowly. Show in Colorado as they prepared for a huge confrontation scene, one that would reveal truths hidden for years, truths that had shaped the very foundation of their lives. And when the cameras began rolling, Jackie, the producer, gently asked Honey Boo Boo if she was ready. And she nodded her head, taking a deep breath as Mama June stepped into the frame, her voice shaking as she began to speak about the mistakes she had made, about the night she wished she could erase, about the guilt that followed her everywhere. And the cold air seemed to hold its breath as Honey Boo Boo listened quietly, her eyes filling with memories she had tried to bury for so long. And when she finally responded, her voice was soft yet strong, carrying years of pain woven with newfound strength as she spoke of her loneliness during her mother's absence, the fear she felt growing up in chaos, the pressure of fame, and the burden of being judged by millions. And tears slid down Mama June's cheeks as she heard her daughter's truth. Raw, unfiltered, and without blame, just honesty. And the crew felt the weight of the moment, knowing they were capturing the purest form of vulnerability and healing that Honey Boo Boo Films' new season of Mama June Show in Colorado had ever shown. And the snowy mountains stood tall around them like silent guardians, witnessing a family trying to mend their broken pieces. And as the conversation continued, Honey Boo Boo surprised everyone, including herself, by stepping closer to Mama June, not to collapse into her arms, but to offer a small fragile gesture of understanding, the first crack in the wall she had built for years. And Mama June reached out hesitantly, afraid that the slightest movement might scare her daughter away. But Honey Boo Boo didn't step back. She stood firm with a courage that made even the cold Colorado wind feel warm. And in that single moment, captured by cameras and embraced by the mountains, the entire essence of Honey Boo Boo Films' new season of Mama June Show in Colorado crystallized into a powerful truth that healing is slow, painful, and imperfect, but it is possible. And as filming wrapped for the day, the crew quietly dispersed, leaving Honey Boo Boo standing alone under the dimming sky, watching the sun slip behind the peaks, painting the world in gold and lavender. And she whispered to herself that no matter where life took her next, she would walk forward with strength, with honesty, with heart, because Colorado had changed her, shown her who she could become, and reminded her that even broken stories can bloom again.